Welcome back for another deep dive. And today we're going to be tackling something pretty complex.
Yeah.
Long context models.
LCMs.
Or LCMs for short.
That's right.
You know, these AI systems that can process huge amounts of information.
Yeah.
Millions of tokens.
Millions.
And use it in ways that
It's really incredible what they can do.
we've never seen before, really.
Yeah. A total paradigm shift.
And I have to say, you sent me some fascinating research on this.
Oh, I'm glad you think so.
Yeah.
I thought it would be right up your alley.
Oh, absolutely. And we're going to put a link to all this research in the show notes for our listeners so they can follow along.
Definitely encourage folks to check it out.
Absolutely.
It's cutting edge stuff.
Yeah. So our mission today is to really try to figure out, what makes these models so powerful?
Right.
What are their limitations?
Where do they stumble?
Where they stumble, right?
Yeah.
And what this means for the future of AI.
The big picture.
The big picture.
Absolutely.
So we're going to try to give our listeners a shortcut to understanding this very complex topic.
I think that's a great goal.
Yeah. So
let's jump in.
Let's start with what makes these LCMs so groundbreaking.
Okay.
What can they do that other models can't?
Well, I think the key really is their ability to handle these massive amounts of data.
Okay.
So imagine you're trying to analyze a complex code base with millions of lines of code.
Okay.
Traditional models would have to break it into chunks, right?
They just can't.
They can't handle that.
They can't take it all in.
No, they lose the big picture.
Right.
LCMs can process the entire thing.
The whole thing.
All at once, understanding the dependencies and relationships
Wow.
that you would just miss otherwise.
It's like reading an entire epic novel.
Yeah.
To understand the full story.
Exactly.
Instead of just a few random pages.
I love that analogy.
Yeah, but the research also mentions that these models sometimes struggle
Ah, yes.
to provide accurate responses.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's one of the big challenges right now. Is
Oh.
They have access to this vast library
Right.
of information.
Right.
But sometimes they just can't seem to find the exact page they need.
Right.
So they can locate the right data,
Okay.
but using it correctly.
Yeah.
That's another story.
I see.
It's a big challenge.
So this misaligned response problem,
Mm-hmm.
that's a significant challenge for these models.
Absolutely.
And in fact, some of the research even uses the term hallucinations in some cases.
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean in this context?
So hallucinations are instances where the model generates outputs
Okay.
that are just factually incorrect
Right.
or completely nonsensical.
Okay.
It's like they're making things up.
Oh, wow.
Like imagine you ask it about the significance of a scientific concept.
Right.
And instead of giving you a relevant answer, it goes off on a tangent
Or it
about
starts talking about something else.
unrelated theories.
Wow. So even though they can process vast amounts of information, they don't always understand it or use it appropriately.
Yeah, that's the crux of the problem.
Yeah, this seems like a major obstacle
Definitely.
to their widespread adoption.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are researchers doing
Well,
to address this alignment problem?
one very promising solution is a new training method called LOGO,
Logo.
which stands for Long Context Alignment via Efficient Preference Optimization.
Okay, so they came up with a good acronym.
Yeah.
So essentially,
LOGO trains the model to distinguish between preferred responses, which are aligned,
right,
and undesirable or misaligned ones.
got it.
It's like guiding the model to give us the answers we want
Right.
while avoiding the gibberish or the irrelevant stuff.
So instead of just feeding the model tons of data,
Mm-hmm.
Logo is really focusing on teaching it to recognize what a good response actually looks like.
Exactly. It's about quality over quantity.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So how does this training process actually work?
So LOGO relies on a concept called preference optimization.
Preference optimization.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the model is presented with pairs of outputs,
Okay.
one aligned and one misaligned.
Okay.
And over time, it learns to assign higher scores to the desired outputs and lower scores to the undesirable ones.
Okay.
So it's kind of like training a dog, right?
Oh.
You reward good behavior,
Right.
discourage bad behavior.
I see.
With the model, we're doing that with these scores.
Okay, so you mentioned efficient preference optimization earlier.
Right.
What makes Logo's approach so efficient?
So what's really cool about LOGO is that it doesn't require a separate reward model, which is typically computationally very expensive and complex to train.
Oh, I see.
So this makes LOGO much more practical and accessible.
So this could be done by a wider range of researchers.
Exactly, even those with more limited resources.
That's a major advantage in this field for sure.
Definitely.
But training these models requires massive amounts of data, and that takes a lot of time. right?
It can.
So does logo somehow address that as well?
It does.
Okay.
So it uses a technique called position synthesis.
Position synthesis?
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
Okay.
But it's a very clever idea
okay.
to overcome these memory limitations.
Yep.
So imagine creating a panoramic photo
okay.
by stitching together smaller images.
Right.
Position synthesis works in a similar way.
Interesting.
It simulates long sequence inputs using shorter chunks of text.
I see.
And this allows researchers to train these models on standard hardware without needing a supercomputer.
So that's a clever way to bypass the hardware limitations.
Right.
So logo is streamlined.
Yeah.
It's more accessible. But does it actually work?
Yeah.
What kind of results have researchers seen?
The results are really impressive.
Okay.
So Logo is trained on a single 8x800 GPU machine.
Okay.
Which is, pretty standard hardware these days for just 16 hours.
16 hours.
And in that short amount of time, it achieved significant improvements in tasks.
Wow.
Like question answering summarization.
Wow.
While maintaining the model's original abilities.
16 hours. That's incredible.
It's really fast.
Yeah.
Very efficient.
So Logo is efficient, accessible, and it produces tangible improvements.
That's right.
But does it only benefit tasks that involve long contexts, or are there ripple effects?
Oh, that's a great question.
On tasks that deal with shorter pieces of information?
And the answer might surprise you.
Okay.
The research indicates that Logo not only maintains performance on short context tasks, but in some cases it actually improves it.
Oh, wow.
So it's a win-win.
That's fascinating. It suggests that Logo's impact goes beyond just expanding the model's ability to handle long sequences.
Right.
It seems to fundamentally improve the model's core understanding.
Exactly. By teaching the model to differentiate between good and bad outputs, it enhances its overall reasoning and decision-making capabilities, which benefits it across the board.
It's like teaching someone critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
It helps them in all aspects of their lives.
Absolutely.
Not just specific situations.
A great analogy.
So this Logo development seems like a significant step forward.
Oh, it's a big deal.
Can you tell us more about how researchers evaluated its effectiveness?
Yeah, so they used a really clever test called the needle in a haystack.
Needle in a haystack.
I know.
Okay.
It's a very visual name.
Yeah.
But it's designed to evaluate how well Logo scales the model's context window size.
Meaning
how much information it can process effectively.
Oh, okay.
So imagine trying to find a tiny needle in an ever-growing haystack.
Okay.
This test essentially pushes the model to its limits.
I see.
To see how well it can handle increasing amounts of information while still pinpointing the relevant details.
Gotcha.
So the needle in a haystack test reveals that Logo not only expands the model's capacity, but also refines its ability to understand and generate responses accurately.
So this is all incredible.
It's very exciting research.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground already, but there's still so much more to explore.
Oh yeah, we're just scratching the surface.
Let's take a quick break to gather our thoughts, and we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
To dive even deeper into these implications of LCMs and Logo.
Looking forward to it. As we sort of dig deeper into this world of long context AI, I think the potential applications become even more intriguing. Imagine using these models to analyze entire libraries of historical texts.
Wow.
To discover hidden patterns and connections, or to process just vast data sets in scientific research to accelerate breakthroughs. In fields like medicine or climate science.
Yeah, the implications for research are mind-boggling.
They really are.
But let's kind of shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
To think about the practical applications of LCMs in our daily lives.
Yeah.
How could these advancements impact the average person?
Well, one area that I think could be completely revolutionized is personalized learning.
Okay.
So imagine an AI tutor that can analyze your learning style. And tailor educational content to your specific needs.
Wow.
Drawing from a vast repository of information.
So it's like having a customized learning experience that adapts to your pace and preferences.
Your preferences, exactly.
That's pretty amazing what other areas of our lives could be transformed.
Well, think about healthcare.
Okay.
LCMs could analyze your entire medical history, including genetic information, lifestyle factors, previous treatments,
Wow.
to provide personalized recommendations for
Right.
disease prevention and treatment.
Okay.
They could even help doctors make more informed diagnoses by identifying subtle patterns in patient data
That might be missed.
that might otherwise be missed. Exactly.
This could be a total game changer
It really could.
for healthcare.
Yeah.
I mean, leading to more accurate diagnoses.
Yeah, more personalized treatment plans.
And potentially even cures
Cures.
for diseases
Potentially.
that have long eluded us.
Really exciting to think about.
Yeah. What about the impact on creative industries?
Oh, interesting.
How could LCMs change the way we create and consume art, music, or literature?
Well, I think LCMs can become really powerful tools
Okay.
for artists and writers,
Okay.
helping them to generate new ideas, experiment with different styles,
Wow.
and even collaborate with AI
Ooh.
to create entirely new forms of artistic expression.
So you could have like a musician collaborating with an AI to compose a symphony
Exactly.
that blends,
Classical elements
Yeah.
with modern electronic sounds,
Yep.
or a writer working with an AI to develop a novel that spans multiple genres and perspectives.
That's amazing.
It's really mind-blowing.
That opens up some exciting new possibilities
Definitely.
for artistic innovation.
For sure.
But as with any powerful technology,
Of course.
there are potential downsides. We've already talked about the alignment problem, but are there other concerns
Right.
about the development and deployment of LCMs?
I think one of the biggest concerns is ensuring that these models are used responsibly and ethically.
Okay.
As AI systems become more sophisticated and integrated into our lives,
Right.
we need to be very vigilant about potential biases,
Right.
unintended consequences, and, the possibility of misuse.
It's like we're navigating
Uncharted territory.
uncharted territory.
Absolutely.
We're exploring the frontiers of AI,
Yeah.
but at the same time, trying to establish ethical guidelines
Guidelines.
and safeguards
Safeguards, yeah.
to prevent harm.
It's a delicate balance.
It is.
For sure.
It's a delicate balance, yeah.
It's crucial that we have these open and honest conversations
Yeah.
about the potential risks and benefits
Of these technologies.
of these technologies.
And develop, robust frameworks
Frameworks for governance and oversight.
to make sure that AI is used for good,
Exactly.
not for malicious purposes.
Absolutely. It's a collective responsibility.
Yeah.
Researchers, developers, policymakers,
The public.
the public, everyone has a role to play
Yeah, I think you're right.
in shaping this future of AI.
But, just for a second, let's set aside those concerns
Okay.
and just kind of indulge in some speculation.
I like where this is going.
What are some of the more futuristic possibilities that LCMs could unlock?
Okay, well, imagine a world where AI can actually understand and respond to human emotions
Wow.
with nuance and empathy.
Okay.
So LCMs could analyze facial expressions, vocal inflections, even physiological signals to provide
Wow.
personalized support and guidance in areas like mental health education, personal relationships.
Wow. So it's like having an AI companion
It is.
that really understands us
Yeah.
and can help us navigate all the complexities
of life.
of life.
Exactly.
That's amazing what other kind of wild ideas come to mind.
Well, think about the potential for personalized virtual realities. So LCMs could analyze your interests, your preferences, even your memories to create these immersive virtual experiences
Okay.
that are tailored to your individual needs and desires.
Wow.
So you can imagine like stepping into a virtual world that's designed just for you.
So from personalized education and healthcare to enhanced creativity
Right.
and even emotional support,
It's pretty amazing.
the possibilities seem kind of endless.
They do.
But for now, let's bring it back down to earth a little bit.
Okay.
And focus on the immediate implications of logo.
Right.
What makes this development so significant?
Well, I think logo is a game changer.
Okay.
Because it addresses this really fundamental challenge in AI.
Okay.
The alignment problem.
Okay.
By teaching models to distinguish between those preferred and dispreferred outputs.
Right.
Logo really paves the way for more reliable, trustworthy, and ultimately more useful AI systems.
So it's kind of like giving AI a moral compass,
In a way,
helping it make decisions
right.
that are aligned with human values.
Aligned with human values and intentions, exactly.
That's powerful. But you mentioned challenges.
Sure.
What hurdles still stand in the way of realizing the full potential?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is the need for more diverse and robust training data sets.
Okay.
Currently, most LCMs are trained on relatively narrow data sets,
Right.
which can limit their ability to understand and respond
A
to
wider.
the full range of human language and experience.
Yeah. It's like teaching a child with only a limited set of books.
Yeah.
You know, they may excel in certain areas, but lack
Right. They don't have that broader understanding.
that broader understanding of the world.
Exactly.
So we need to expose these models
I do.
to a wider variety of information
Yeah, much wider variety.
to unlock their full potential.
Absolutely.
We also need to develop, I think,
Yeah.
more sophisticated evaluation methods
Definitely.
to assess the performance of these models.
Right.
Particularly when it comes to detecting biases and ensuring fairness and accountability.
Accountability, absolutely.
You know, as AI becomes more integrated into our lives,
Yeah.
it's crucial that we have ways
Ways to measure
and measure its impact
its impact and hold it accountable
and hold it accountable
for its decisions.
for its decisions.
Yes, like establishing a system of checks and balances.
Right.
To ensure that AI serves humanity,
Right.
not the other way around.
Not the other way around. Yeah,
That's a really important point
it is.
to keep in mind.
So we've explored these groundbreaking capabilities of LCMs.
We have.
The promise of logo and all the ethical considerations
Right.
that kind of accompany these advancements.
Yeah.
Now, let's take a moment to just reflect
Yeah.
on the broader implication
Right.
of this journey into the world of long context AI.
I'm ready.
It feels like we've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
Well, I mean, it's
What does the future hold for long context AI?
it's a very exciting time to be working in this field with each breakthrough.
Yeah.
You know, we're opening up new avenues for exploration.
Right.
Logo is really just the beginning.
Okay.
You know, as we continue to refine these training methods and develop even more sophisticated models, I think we're bound to uncover possibilities
Right.
we can only dream of today.
You've mentioned the importance of ethical considerations.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we really need to keep in mind as these models become more powerful and more integrated into our lives.
Absolutely.
You know, we really need to be mindful of the potential consequences, both positive and negative.
I think it's crucial that we have these open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of AI. You know, we need to engage with policymakers, industry leaders, the public,
Right.
and ensure that these technologies are developed and deployed responsibly,
Responsibly.
with safeguards in place to prevent harm and promote fairness.
This feels bigger than just a technological advancement.
It does.
It feels like a societal shift.
Yeah.
And we need to approach it with, you know, careful consideration and a real commitment to transparency.
I think you're absolutely right. We're entering this new era of human AI collaboration, and it's essential that we navigate this transition thoughtfully.
Thoughtfully.
You know, asking ourselves these tough questions about the role we want AI to play in our lives.
Right.
And working together to create a future where these technologies enhance human capabilities, promote well-being, and contribute to a more just and equitable world.
That's a tall order,
It is!
but it's also incredibly exciting.
Right. It's a daunting task, but
Yeah.
it's also incredibly exciting.
Yeah, we're standing at the cusp of a new era
We are.
of discovery and innovation.
Yeah.
And the potential benefits are enormous.
I'm reminded of the early days of the internet when no one could have predicted, you know, the
No.
transformative impact it would have on our lives.
Right.
I think we're at a similar inflection point with AI, and the possibilities really are limitless.
So what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this deep dive into the world of long context models?
I want them to remember that while the technical details are important, the most crucial aspect of this conversation is the human element.
The human element.
AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill.
Right.
The future of AI is ultimately in our hands.
It is.
And it's up to us to shape it in a way that benefits all of humanity.
That's a powerful message. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of long context models. We hope you found this exploration insightful and thought-provoking.
And if you're interested in learning more, there's a wealth of resources available online. I encourage you to delve deeper into this fascinating field and join the conversation about the future of AI.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep asking questions.